So, good morning. I'm out with the dogs. It's about 8 o'clock this morning. I decided today that I'm doing a work day at home, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of all the things that I need to do at home with my Amazon business, and maybe and not maybe, I'm going to upload my art to Etsy. I have a lot of different things that I can do and that I'm working on, so I want to get quite a bit done today. Maybe even get a package in the post office, or maybe I'll do it tomorrow morning. We'll see. So yesterday, I went to paint, and then I went to the hot springs, and then on my way back, he called me to come over, invited me over, and called me to come, invited me over, and so I don't know. It was like in the late afternoon, maybe 4:35 when I got there, and we had a blast. We had a blast. We always have so much fun. One of the first things that he said to me when I got there, like within the first few minutes that I got there, is that that he could feel that I was thinking about him, and I cracked up. I cracked up. I cracked up. That was just too funny. That there were a few times that he felt that I was thinking about him, that he could, yeah. I thought that was the funniest thing. There were a lot of things that we talked about. We also recorded a lot of the evening, as he has this new fangled camera, like a video camera. So he just set it up there while we were talking, and we talked about all sorts of things. But there were a few highlights. I always come out with a few lessons. There were some personal lessons in there, which there always are. In everything that he says, there's personal messages. Um, about my relationship with my boys, because he sees me. And there was a point in there where he said something to me that, first of all, he makes me laugh. I just sat there and I laughed most of the evening until my cheeks hurt, until I just can't do it anymore, until my stomach aches from laughing. And then he said something. I don't even remember what it was exactly. So I'm hiking on these stones. I put my paint pants on. There's Rexy over there. See Rexy? We enjoy our morning walks. Look at this. See how beautiful? This is where I'm sitting. I'm coming down here to this place on this rock. So two of the things that he said, and we always have very, very meaningful conversations with a lot of, it's spirituality that's basically. And also, he has all these. There in Israel. There's a lot of there's politics now going on. I have nothing to do with it. I don't even know what's going on in the country. All I do is hang out on the paint and hang out on the mountain and do my own thing. But there's when you leave the house, it's yesterday when I was driving back through Tiberias, there were people out blocking intersections and thinking, what is it called? What is it called? It's not, it's like when people go on a strike. It's not really a strike. It's against the government, or like when they want to do it. So there's this side out there, and then there's that side out there. So we talked quite a bit about that. And but one of the things that he said to me that really hit home, one thing was about my boys, about the way that he said that he got upset about something or mad about something. I said, but why do you need to even get mad about it? And he said, sometimes you have to get mad. And then he brought it down he brought it back home for me. There's sometimes, you don't let people walk all over you. And he was also talking about my relationship with my boys, that sometimes, and he's right about what he said. Like, if you don't allow people to treat you a certain way, then they can't treat you that way. And it's the same thing. Another thing that he said, which was one of the, see, there was about the belief. But there was something else I wanted to say before that, but I'm not remembering it right now. So I'm just going to go with the belief because the belief was the big point. He said, oh, okay. So there's 2 points, and they have to do with each other. So about the belief, he said, when you're manifesting or you're moving into a new reality, your belief is what holds it there and makes it true. And you need to actually believe, really believe, that that is your truth, that you are deserving of this, this is the way that you live your life, and that you're provided for, also with the way of being provided for. Um, and that you believe that you can just do this and be provided for, then the universe will work its way out. You have to believe it. But once you see, I also see the common sense in this, because if I believe that I am a certain way, I start behaving that way, and the universe treats it in sync with it. Or if I really believe that I'm deserving to make a living from doing one certain, like doing the videos, let's say, because that's really what I want to do, make a living somehow from making these videos and doing my art. See, that's the thing. I could combine Etsy and do my art and make videos of it, and somehow make a living. If I believed 100% that that's how I make my living, and everything else would be cut off. First of all, I wouldn't be running home and, oh, I'm going to make a big, I have to go and roll posters and send them off to Amazon, because that would be taking away from my making a living, which is my videos. And also, if I really, really believed in these videos that that was going to be the way of me making a living, or that I'm transferring over into the belief, because that is what I want to do. Because if I was able to do that, then first of all, I could be a total expression of myself, which I feel the best when I'm a total expression of myself. Secondly, it would take all that worry off the table that I have, all the pain, all the worry off the table. Because of this, I like doing this. I just do this. I get up in the morning and I want to do, and then it wouldn't be like working. It would be just like doing my thing. That's what I want to do. But he was saying about belief, he was saying when you really believe something, then you create a new thought pattern in your brain. But if you just believe it, like you just say it, but you don't really believe it, you're trying to make yourself believe it, then that's the truth in your brain, is you trying to make yourself believe it. So you actually have to shift over into the actual belief, not just I want to believe this, or I'm going to make myself believe this. The actual belief, because actual belief feels different than wanting to believe. But you can also program your mind through your words. So if I want to believe something, I just keep telling myself that over and over and over and over. Like I've been telling myself lately, I'm strong, I'm excited about my life. In some videos before, you say, I want to be excited about my life. No, I'm excited about my life. And when I wake up in the morning anymore, I'm starting to feel that excitement. I'm starting to feel like, okay, I'm going to meditate, and then I have all these things I want to do. I'm excited about my life. I mean, look, I get to sit out here at 8 o'clock in the morning and have my cup of coffee and allow my dogs to run around down there and have a good time. And Lola needs a haircut desperately. She needs a haircut and a wash desperately. Like, it's gotten to the point where you don't want to pet her. My son told me, I don't want to pet her anymore. She stinks. So winter, you can see it's already, spring is here. We've already gone past the new year, the equinox. So spring is officially here. We changed our clocks. So it's time. Even if it gets a little chilly, it's not going to get that cold where she can have a haircut now. We had a blast. We had a blast. Oh, and then another thing that he said to me, he told me a story about himself, and it connects directly to me. Oh, everything that he says connects to me on so many different levels. It's crazy. He'll tell me one story, and I'm hearing like the continuation of 10 different stories all at once. And sometimes it's like I could be completely on a different storyline, and he's telling me a story in 3D, and I'm on a completely different storyline, and then he'll bring something in from the 3D and it'll mix me all up. It'll be like, wait, what does that have to do with the story? And then I'll realize, and I'll have to replay the whole story in my mind, applying it to something else because it's not what I thought it was about. But it's like that all the time. And sometimes it's like that to where it's like that on a few different timelines. I'm getting the fill in on stories on a few different timelines. And I don't actually even know which timeline he is, if he's telling it about a certain, I'm sure he's telling it about a certain timeline or a certain scenario. But I don't even know which one because it all fits in so even to all of the different stories that I have going on. It's so funny that there's so many different stories and so many different ways that this is playing out. There's the twin flame, and there's the trust in God, and there's the Messiah aspect. Oh, there's a big Messiah story going on here. It's amazing. So it's also something that have to think about how to even present that story, because that story is, you know what? You know what? That is a story that I do want to tell, the Messiah story about all of this, because we each save ourselves. But the way that I see it, we are each the savior of ourselves. And that is something that I realized when I was coming out of my alcoholism, because I realized nobody's going to come in here and save me. Everybody is in their own life, worried about their own life, doing their own thing. Nobody is going to come in here into my life. And it was like for years and years and years when I was an alcoholic, I had like this fantasy, but it wasn't even like a conscious fantasy. It was like something underneath, that one day somebody's going to come along and see, and like give me a hand and pull me up. But when I started coming into my own power, I realized, if somebody even comes along and gives me a hand, it's because I'm asking for it. You have to make, once you start moving towards it, then okay, other people can come in and other things can come in and situations can come in. But you have to be the one that that ignites it in you and that starts pushing your own self forward in the direction that you want. Otherwise, the universe doesn't even know that that's what you want. You have to let the universe know, okay, this is the direction I'm moving in. This is the belief. I believe it. Not just to believe it, not just halfway believe it. I believe it. See, it's all connected. It's all freaking connected. I'm connected to those cows down there. And the olive trees, down by those olive trees. Right, can you see the olive trees? I don't know. The olive trees down there. Yeah, you can see them there. There's cows. All the stories are connected. All the storylines are connected. There are different dimensions. You can go in between the dimensions with your vibration. You can shift. But there are like there is the lower vibrations, which is the physical world, and this physical existence is all in the lower vibrations. It's such a low vibration that it already came into solidity, like being solid. And then there are the higher realms. And the further you, like, but you can call it whatever you want to call it. But the further you go up, the broader your view becomes, and the more it's like playing. Oh, there was another thing that we were talking about. We were talking about energy and how energy is here for, it's just like electricity. and how, you know, something that came to mind yesterday when we were talking was like the Einstein thing, that Einstein said, I don't know what weapons we're going to be using in the Third World War, but in the Fourth World War, it's going to be sticks and stones. And I kind of feel like right now we're playing with sticks and stones because we are working in the physical world, working, 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 giving all of our effort, all of our energy every day, going and moving things, moving, taking a rock and moving it, instead of, you can move things with energy. And I mean, like, if it's like coming, the difference between coming with a board and trying to move a rock with your hands, with between coming with a tractor and lifting the rock up and moving it, or walking with effort. If I was going to walk to Tiberias, it would take me, most of a day, or I can get in the car and drive because we've learned to take energy and to capsule it. But there's so many other energies around here in this world that we can work with. We were talking about how in the ancient times when they built the pyramids, that they used energy and sound waves to move the stones, and that there was somebody even in the 1940s or 1950s in Florida in the States. I don't remember. It was one of, I think he was from Ukraine. I want to look it up. Um, but it's easy to find. He built like in his yard or something like this with massive stones. He built like this whole stone garden or something, moving these massive stones all on his own, and nobody knows how he did it. And he took the secrets with him. And I went in and I learned a little bit about, like, I looked him up to see if he had anything written, and he had written a little pamphlet about energy, and how he said that everything has its own frequency, everything has energy in it. So I imagine if you can find the energy of stones and you can take it and manipulate it, maybe just, turn the vibration, you can lift stones. And the story is that there were a couple of kids that looked over the fence and saw him lifting a massive stone with little cones. And they found those cones all over the world in places like the pyramids. They found those cones. They found little cones there that had carvings on them with the names, with the name of whoever it was that helped build those pyramids. And they found them. I know they found those cones all over the place in I think it was Australia, where they found also the circles, like those Stonehenge circles. Look, two eagles up there. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, you can. Beautiful. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. I'm gonna turn it around. So it's spring now, and you can see it in nature so clearly. You see all the bugs mating. You see the turtles mating. I actually filmed a couple of turtles. You see that everything is in pairs. It's beautiful to see. So we were talking about being able to tap into energy, and it's also the same thing with with money or substance. It's an energy. It's a flow, and there is a flow to it. And if you're trying to just hold on to it, then the flow stops. You have to allow the flow to go through you. And I don't know if we were talking about that yesterday, but that's an understanding that I've been having. This twin flame journey is teaching me so much. Not only do I learn, I'm going in myself and out of myself, but not only that, just even sitting with my twin, he's so smart. I'm learning from him, just regular. Oh, it smells good. Yeah, it's so cliche. You got to stop and smell the flowers, but I do. I stop and smell the flowers because they just smell so good. And smell. takes you. I think that all of your senses have the power to take you and to move you. So think about it. So smell can also take you into the past, into a long, long time ago, a memory that you would have never remembered again. So smell, also like the flower smell, it lifts you. And it's funny because when you see flowers and they're different colors, like I was smelling roses when I was on my way here, and the different colored roses have different smells to them. And the smell, like if you look at the flower and the smell, they always suit each other. Like you can smell that, yeah, of course, that's what the pink one smells like. But it's such a cliche to stop and smell the flowers. It's like totally cliche. But we were talking about energy, and that's so interesting. I really want to, even talking this out this morning helps me because it's actually, it's a moving of energy and it's allowing the flow to flow through me. It's like tapping into a specific vibration, which would be abundance. And it could, and the thing is with abundance is that it feels the same in every area. So let's say I already have abundance in love. Let's say, my kids call me because they want me to come home to be with them. I have lots of good friends that really care about me. Even friends that I've met in the last year or two that really, really care. And for the most part, I'm likable and liked. And so abundance is so I feel abundant in that way. Also with, the love of my children and my parents and my siblings. And of course my twin. We have, good rapport, I think. So, energy. I don't know, I just got like this thing in the pit of my stomach, and I'm like, I don't want to go there. When I said about my twin, like I had like this pang, and I don't want to go there. I don't want to go down into that. So I'm not even going to talk about it, get it any kind of energy. I want to stay in the high flying. We had so much fun. We had so much fun. We laugh when we're together. It's just too funny. It's just too funny. So we were talking about okay, so let me see if we went through everything. Oh, okay. So then he says to me he was telling me a story about, you know, about doing God's work, about bringing the messages and doing the work that he was brought here to do, which is if you read his vision, and I love his vision, I feel like it's pretty close to my vision, is to make the world a better place, and bring peace, kind of like bring peace on earth or heaven on earth. And he's a guide, so I feel like I'm being guided by him also. And I'm not the only one that's being guided by him. And so, first of all, the whole conversation with him kind of feels cosmic. It's like way up. We talk about, I don't even know how many times we were talking last night about millions of dollars, and it just feels like when I where like the whole conversation was kind of had like this feeling of abundance to it, which when you feel that, you're in that energy, then you can start vibrating that energy. You can connect back to it. We were talking about his child, well, not so much his childhood, but his earlier years, and he had a connection with somebody that was well off, that he also worked for, and it's just the whole vibration of it, the whole feel of that conversation was a feel of like there are no limits. There are no limits, that you can just manipulate reality um, through energy, and I could feel that energy. It's where you're sitting, where already it's not a place of it's a place of playing. It's not a place where you have to work hard, or oh no, it's a place of, oh yeah, what are we gonna do now? How can I do this? Or oh yeah, there's that to do. Let's see, a place where all options are open to you on a way of a monetary way, like uh, that isn't a relevant boundary. Like you get to do what you want. It cost doesn't matter. And then I also know that in that ball game, because I was there before a few years ago. I was in a place where I didn't have any monetary worries really, and it's a place where when you start playing, it's money comes to money, because when you start playing in that ball game, that ball field, the things that you do are creative because they're not coming from scarcity, and so they're abundant because you're just playing the game. You're playing the game, and as good of a player as you are, you get rewarded for. And you can play. You have all the pieces that you want to play with. You get to decide. So then you have free creative mode, not like scarcity. Okay, how can I make something small? You want to play with the world, and you play with big things. But he told me that at one point he had a conversation with God, or with the angels, or with the guides, or with the universe, or whatever you want to call it. He had a conversation that make this area of my life simple so that I can do the work that needs to be done. And I completely connected to that. I completely connected to that. I also want to focus on what it is that I want to do, even with this workshop. Focus on the message that I want to bring, and not on the okay, how many, the money aspect of it. Because I know it's just like the ball game that I was playing, that I was saying before. Because if I just focus on what the value is that I want to bring, then I'm bringing the real thing, not focus on, okay, what can I sell, or what can, and then I can really do my own self-work. And I think that also when you do it that way, things seem to come out the very best, because there's no pressure around it. There's no pressure around it. A neighbor. And things come from the right place, and then you're free to do your creative mode. And that is actually how I would like to be, regardless. And I feel like that's where my aim is, to get to a point where I'm just doing my art to be doing my art, and allowing the universe to fill in around me and provide. See, that's the thing, to ask for providence, to be provided for, and allow me just to do the work. So I am believing that I'm worthy of that, And I believe that everything here is connected and that the universe hears me, and that I have seen miracles over and over and over all around me every day. And I know that I'm worthy, so I believe I'm strong and I'm worthy, and everything is always working out for me, always. So that's an update on that. And I had a blast. He is just so sweet and so cute and so funny and so smart. Okay, so I go home. So sending you lots of love.